I saw Wicked over the weekend and I have been absolutely dying to talk about it, so here are some of my thoughts. First off, I want to say that I went into this movie with really low expectations. I fully forgot that I had seen the Broadway musical. I saw it in theater class, like the recording of the Broadway show, because it was theater class and it's one of the classic musicals. Of course I've seen it. I can't believe I forgot, but I obviously the big songs I knew anyway, and they get stuck in my head all the time. But regardless, I was really excited for it. I was really looking forward to it. I love Ariana Grande. I love Michelle Yeoh. I love Jonathan Bailey. So I was really excited for the cast. I had never heard of Cynthia Erivo before. I didn't know her work. That's why I didn't mention her just now, but she seemed awesome for the casting choice. I love all the casting choices basically, but I was really nervous going in. I was not optimistic at all because let me just tell y'all, the promotion strategies for this movie have been weird. The editors did not have this movie's best interests at heart, and neither did the audio mixers. Because when I tell y'all, first off, this is coming from someone who's a music nerd, okay? Why has every trailer for this movie had the worst audio editing ever? It's been terrible. Every promotional video has had slightly different audio mixing as well, so it's all been quite weird. That was when I started to realize that I should give it the benefit of the doubt, because the trailer had a different audio mix, balance or whatever. Something was off compared to some of the promotional videos they released right before the movie came out, which were all just terrible. They made the singing sound horrible. And I know Ariana Grande better than to know that I listened to one of those teaser clips before the movie came out, and I was like, that simply is not what her voice sounds like. So I was like, something is off. The audio editors have something against her. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to this movie and trust that that is not what they sound like, because I know better. And I will also say, I am mad as hell because the trailer included everything. We knew it was a part 1 and part 2. We knew it was ending at Defying Gravity. Why was the final note of Defying Gravity at the end of the trailer? Don't show me that if that's the climax of the movie. I'm pissed. But regardless, that has nothing to do with the movie itself. I'm just mad at the promotional teams. Speaking of which, the desaturation was way worse in the trailers than it was in the actual movie. The actual movie was, for a current modern movie, pretty colorful and not as desaturated as it looked in the trailers. And there were also a lot of weird backlighting moments in the trailers, but they are very few moments in the actual movie. So I went into the movie worried as hell, thinking it was going to be weirdly backlit, thinking it was going to be desaturated and have weird audio mixing, and I did not have any of those issues in the movie, let me tell you. But beyond that, it blew me away. It blew me away. First off, we got to the first, few seconds of the movie when they start singing No One Mourns the Wicked, and it immediately washes over me. Of course I've seen this musical. I remember it now. Not well, mind you. I have the memory of a goldfish cracker. But regardless, the theater kid inside me immediately went, oh my god, wait, I do know this. I'm suddenly even more excited. This is everything to me. Mind you, I went dressed up. I was wearing a green dress with a pink sweater. I was ready already. But it was just so good. Ariana was hitting those high notes. And I just have to say this throughout this whole movie, Ariana was doing stuff with her voice, singing. I have never heard her voice do that before. It is insane. I love this woman. I've heard all of her albums. I love most of her albums, and I've just loved her throughout her entire career. I have never heard her voice do this. I am so incredibly impressed with her. Even, I have been listening to her new album, Eternal Sunshine, throughout this whole year. I love it more than any of you, by the way. And her voice sounds so much better because of all the singing training she did for Wicked, but it still doesn't sound like that. She did something specifically for Glinda, she transformed into a new person. And then we get to Cynthia Erivo. I had never heard of her before this, aside from being a Broadway person. I didn't know any of her work or anything. I am blown away. Her face, her eyes, so insanely emotive throughout the entire movie. There was so much going on. I would take one look at her during emotional scenes before a lot had happened in the scene. I just wanted to sob because of all the emotion. Her voice? It's something else. It's out of this world. We will get her that EGOT. She needs that EGOT, yesterday. I'm so blown away by her. I am so impressed by her. I hope she does more movies in the future, and I hope there are more musicals, because, that was amazing. And mind you, a lot of people were very weirdly judgy of how emotional Ariana and Cynthia were throughout the promotional tour, because it's like their dream role and it's coming to life, which I already understood. But seeing that movie, my God, every time I think about it, I want to start bawling. Like, I get it. Jonathan Bailey, that was the most bisexual performance I've ever seen from him. Like, he is not a bisexual, mind you, but, like, that is a gay theater kid performance. He was giving the voice, the dance moves. The fact that he did all of his own dance moves and stunts, incredible. The fact that he was flirting with all the guys and all the girls in the room for his song, like, that was everything to me. And I also do really love his character. Like I said, I don't fully remember the original Broadway play very well, so I could tell that some things were different. I just can't quite put my finger on what. I don't think the changes are any better or worse. What I do think is that the changes that they made for the Broadway musical are just perfect for this version. To make it into a film instead of a Broadway play, and to make it fit for a part 1 and part 2, where instead of a 15-minute intermission, we're waiting a year between movies. Like, to change all of that stuff, to make it work for these actors and these characters and the ways that they shifted some of the songs and stuff, I thought it was perfect. I thought that everything that they did perfectly served this medium and this art style and this, that's the same thing, but perfectly served what they were doing here. Although it definitely could have been a lot more colorful considering the usual Wizard of Oz colors that we get, I did think it was really colorful. I thought it was pretty beautiful. I was really blown away by a lot of the sets and stuff. I really, really loved it. I thought I would complain about this, and I actually don't have that many complaints. I really love the storyline itself, like the metaphorical stuff that they talk about and the themes and stuff. It was very emotionally resonant, especially after Trump re-election. It really hit, and I feel like I really needed to see that. And I'm incredibly excited for part 2, but like I said, I'm really glad that they did what they did. I actually feel okay waiting a year for it. I don't feel robbed by the ending. Granted, I knew it was coming. If I hadn't known it was coming, I might have been a little mad, but I was ready for it, and I'm actually okay with what they did with it, and I'm really excited for the next part. And I am glad we only have to wait a year. If we had to wait a lot longer, I might be a little mad, but since we know we're only waiting about a year, I'm okay, I'm ready, I'm excited, and I actually think that'll be cool. I'm excited to see what happens next because, like I told you, I really don't remember. Oh my God, and I had absolutely no idea going in that Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel were gonna have cameos and singing cameos at that, and then they, like, interacted with their new characters, like, Glinda interacted with Glinda and Elphaba interacted with Elphaba. Like, I was about to start sobbing. Like, I can't cry in public, that's why I say about to. I was, like, holding my breath so I would not sob in public. I was going through it. Like, that got me. The scene where they're in complete silence and they're dancing together, and even though Glinda's kind of fake, they're having that moment of, like, connection after Glinda fucked Elphaba over, and it's, like, so emotional. And, like, even right before that, when Elphaba's dancing completely alone, holy shit, I almost died, like, chills, sobbing. It was insane. They were so much fun as well. They put so much character into what they were doing, like their choices that they made. I love that they were given some creative liberties, by the way. The movie would have been so boring without those. Like, they got to put some inflection and energy into their characters that otherwise would have just made it a stale remake, and instead they got to make it more energized, more full of passion and love because they understand their characters. Ariana was so fucking funny, and it was incredible to see. And lastly, of course, I have to talk about Defying Gravity. Now, once again, I don't have a memory, but I think they changed it a little bit. I remember Unlimited being a full song, and if I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about that. And I also remember it being only a solo song. I was really happy that Ariana got to sing along with it as well. Like I said, I love the changes. I think they were perfect for this version, even if I am right about that being a change, and if I'm wrong, I just don't have a memory, that's my bad. But either way, it blew me away. It just got bigger and bigger and grander, and I can't stop thinking about it all weekend. It was genuinely the only song I could listen to. It was just so big, so beautiful. The vocals are absolutely out of this world. I'm so blown away. I think about it and I just want to start sobbing with, like, joy and, like, pride for what they've done with this character and the story and just their talent and their love for it. It really shows. It was such a beautiful experience. So yeah, I'm so happy I saw it, and please share your thoughts as well because it was such an amazing experience.